What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? I'm the Malt activist, and today we have a bit of a cult expression, if you know what I mean. I am, of course, talking about this Glendronach revival, 15 years old. But this is not just any Glendronach revival. No. This one has been bottled in 2011, more than 11 years ago. What? Before we begin, I'd like to welcome our first-time viewers. Thank you for joining us for this video. If you like what you see, please do consider subscribing. To my returning viewers, thank you for your continued patronage. And to my YouTube members and Patreon gang, you guys are awesome. Without you, this channel would be absolutely nothing. So, let's kick it off. Now, before we talk about this whiskey, I have a bit of a funny story to tell you, which may kind of come across as a flex. So legit, this is what happened a couple of days ago. I was cleaning my bar, and I knew that I had at one point in my life owned the Glendronach 15 Revival, but I was 100% sure that I had polished it off some evening, probably sitting with some friends over a cigar or two, and I was like, okay, I don't have that whiskey anymore. And I was cleaning my bar, the bottom of my bar, and there, sitting right in the back, collecting dust, was this bottle. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I found it. That I didn't even know that I had it on me. And so, you know, I tried taking the cork out. The cork was dry, it broke. I had to extract the whiskey, extract the cork, drop a new one in. It was crazy. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, whoa, this guy's trying to say he has so many whiskeys, he has absolutely no idea what's on his shelves. And that's kind of true. And it's not because I'm flexing, it's because I'm an idiot. Genuinely, that's the case. But you know what? I'm a happy idiot because I ended up finding this Glendronach Revival, and then I looked at the stencil right here. There it is. You can't see because it's too damn like stencily. And I was like, hey, I wonder how old this bottle is. And as it turns out, this is a 2011 bottle. Yeah, bottled in 2011, and I'm like, whoa. Now, granted, when I first got this whiskey, I had kind of no real idea about the history of the distillery and why this whiskey is important. So let's talk about that for a bit, right? So the distillery was shut down from 1996 to 2002, at which point the great Billy Walker turned up and he said, hey man, give me this distillery, I'm going to revive it. And you probably know where this is leading. He said, I'm going to revive this distillery, and to commemorate it, he released this 15-year-old and called it, yes, you guessed it, the Revival. Yes. So what this Revival stands for is the revival of the distillery. That's why this bottle is so important. But actually, that's not the only reason this bottle is so important. The reason this bottle is super important is because for it to be bottled in 2011 and for it to be 15 years old, it would have to be distilled in 1996 at least. But since you already know that in 1996, the distillery was closed, which means they would have had to go back to earlier stocks, right? And essentially what happened was that in 2011, there's probably some 16, 17-year-old whiskey in this, up to 2015, when it's rumored that there were probably 20-year-old whiskeys going into that particular bottle. However, in 2015, Glendronach said, enough is enough. We are not going to bottle any more 20-year-old whiskey and sell it as 15-year-old. We're done with that. So they discontinued it, much to the dismay of so many Glendronach fans worldwide. But then, back in 2008, the Green Phoenix rose again under the watchful eye of Miss Rachel Barrie, who decided to bring this whiskey back and, however, changed the recipe somewhat because she now uses a mix of PX and Oloroso casks to make the 15-year-old Revival. But what we have here, sir and ladies, is the earlier version matured 100% in Oloroso sherry casks. All right. What do we know about this whiskey? We know this is 46% ABV, matured 100% in Oloroso casks, Oloroso sherry casks, and it's supposed to be very tasty and probably 94, 95 vintage distillate in here. So, you know, something really special, something really, really special about this bottle that we have. And for those who know their Glendronach history, also know that this is a non-chill filtered bottle, because Glendronach are now chill filtering their whiskeys, again much to the dismay of their fans. But you know, it's kind of technically not even chill filtering, but you know, that's a discussion for another video, and I don't want to go there. But this bottle came into existence well before that policy was enacted. So this is a natural color and a non-chill filtered, so hooray. Time to taste this juice. That's what it looks like. Natural color, thank you. Non-chill filtered, thank you. Just the way we like our whiskeys. This is bottled at 46%. Can't go wrong with those kind of specs, you know? Just can't go wrong with those kind of specs. Woohoo! Yeah. I remember when I nosed this whiskey for the first time, and I was like, whoa, what is this? It instantly reminded me of Coca-Cola. And it's not too far off as well. Do remember that I got this bottle in 2013 or 14, which means it's been sitting on my shelf for about 8 or 9 years, and it's had time to grow older and change. So it's it's a growing whiskey, and I'm going to treasure it, and I'm going to keep it for a long time, and maybe keep going back to it every 6 months or so to see how it changes. But yeah, I can see that it's lost none of its class. You know what I'm saying? This is a great nose. I used to think that there was an off note here. Again, very, very sensitive to sulfur. And I remember thinking, oh, does this have a twinge of sulfur in it? But now, I don't think so. This is pretty flawless for me. I'm getting dark honey, raisins, baked apples. It's quite tart as well. Dark chocolate, coffee grounds, tobacco. Yes. Near perfect nose. What you would expect from a quality 100% Oloroso maturation, right? That must have been like some solidly beautiful cask. I'm guessing we're talking first fill over here. I don't have that much information. All I know is that this is 100% Oloroso. I think it's first fill. If there's any second fill in here, then do let me know. But it looks very, very first filly to me. Yes, I like this nose. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. All right, I guess there's nothing left for me to do but dance. Yes, what a beautiful mouthfeel. Thank you, non-chill filtration. See, that's what happens. This mouthfeel is just near perfect, just so velvety and so nice. It's got a burnt caramel, leather, licorice, dark honey, dark chocolate, tobacco, vanilla. And this finish is massive. It's just clinging onto my palate. That shaved cigar leaf, sweet shaved cigar leaf dipped in dark honey, just coating my mouth. This is good stuff, man. This is excellent stuff. This is what old school sherried whiskeys were like, you know? And when I say old school, I think anything put in the barrel in the mid-90s is old school, you know. I mean, old school can be anything, but for me, it's old school. You know, I don't know where we went wrong. I don't know, you know, if it was travel retail that's destroying and eating away at this industry, just purely from a quality point of view. I know travel retail has done wonders for the industry in terms of, you know, so many more people have access to whiskey, and that's essentially what keeps the whiskey industry growing and surviving and what have you. But, you know, when it comes down to these quality whiskeys that were just handcrafted so meticulously, you know, and nobody was hurried, right? Nobody was in a rush. It was, you know, put in a cask and they're like, yeah, we'll come back to it in 15, 16, 17, 18 years, you know, and you let it sit, and they use really great casks, man. So these might even be original sherry casks, right? Not just seasoned. They might be transportation casks for all I know. Again, if somebody has information regarding that, please let me know. But yeah, you know, just the quality of those casks back in the day, the care, the quality control that went into it. You know, nobody was really, you know, going after quantity and increasing output and just meeting demand. They were just focused on making whiskey, you know. And I think there's an element of commerce that is contaminating the overall quality of the whiskeys that we drink today. I feel that might be the case, and I feel that a lot of whiskeys are made, you know, in a rushed manner because CFOs run the company, and you know, everything is about the bottom line, and it's, I don't know. I think it affects the industry. From a quality point of view, people like myself who crave these old school flavors do so for a reason, and we become increasingly dejected when these kind of flavors, it's very hard to find in newer whiskeys, unless, you know, you end up spending 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds, and only then do you get maybe the pleasure of drinking something that is outstanding. But, you know, if you're a poor guy like me who's, you know, spending 150, 80, 70 pounds on an average whiskey, then we're not really getting that level of quality that we would back in the day. I remember picking this bottle up for nothing, you know. When I say nothing, I'm thinking maybe even like 50 pounds. Not more than that. And even then I remember thinking, ooh, that's, you know, that's a lot to pay for a whiskey 8, 9, 10 years ago, whenever I bought this. But yeah, but the proof is in the pudding, you know what I'm saying? And this is just fantastic pudding, just meticulously made, just an amazing quality of casks involved, just a quality control, just handcrafted. And, you know, obviously Billy Walker was trying to make a point. He's like, hey, there's a reason I've taken over this distillery, and, you know, there needs to be some good stuff coming out of it. So obviously no expense was spared in putting these expressions together. And which is why, you know, you have 16, 17, 18-year-old, and even, I think, like I said, in 2015, there might have been some 20-year-old juice in that 15-year-old. So everything played its part. Beautiful. I love it, man. I love it. Nice to go back to an old school whiskey after a while, and just simply drink it for the enjoyment of it, you know. This is too good. This was too good. I'm gonna give this an 8.5A. Yeah, solid 8.5A. Well done. I've not tried the very recent revivals, the ones that were reintroduced in after 2018. So I'll see if I can get my hands on one and see, and maybe do a comparison video and see what the fuss is about. and maybe do like a little, you know, chill filtered versus non-chill filtered thing. So yeah, maybe something for the next video. But in the meantime, yeah, happy camper, love this whiskey, and all the good stuff. So thank you, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for giving it a thumbs up. Thank you for dropping a comment, for sharing, for subscribing, and everything that is good about the world today. So thank you, yeah, I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.